everyone. Thanks for joining me today on this brand new Facebook Live. I'm so excited that you're here with me, and let me introduce myself. My name is Dr. Jan Slater, and I've been a chiropractor for the past 31 years, and thankfully I'm still actively practicing. So I love helping people every day with their chiropractic health issues, and also assisting many of my patients with their weight loss struggles through healthy eating, food, and exercise. So I'm your host, and I also run the Facebook group Keto Family Meal Plan, where we discuss all things keto. Now, I believe our group has a great supportive membership of fellow ketoers, and currently we have over 300 keto-approved recipes and keto tips with lots of member support, and we also get a lot of keto questions asked every day and answered by our interactive group, so it's alive and well, thanks to all of you. So if you're joining me here today, you probably enjoy talking about keto and figuring out how to lose weight and stay healthy at the same time. Well, when I look around at other keto groups that I'm in, and I listen to lots of other doctors on YouTube and their podcasts, and I've come to realize there's always a lot of questions that people have about living keto. I know that people love sharing recipe ideas and weight loss successes, but I've also seen a lot of bad information and some bad advice out there too. Now, when I first heard about keto a bunch of years back, I thought it was all about bacon and sausage and pepperoni. Now, truthfully, I was one of those doctors who really didn't think that keto was healthy, and that it was a really healthy way of life, and definitely not a way that people could stay healthy, and certainly not sustainable. So, you know, I was wrong earlier on. You know, it certainly was my doctor bias. And now that I follow keto and help my patients with a low carb, moderate protein, with the implementation of some high healthy fats, people are losing weight and getting healthy at the same time. So that's why I do these Facebook Lives. I really enjoy it. So, you know that keto is not just about losing weight. I believe that it's really about adopting a healthier lifestyle of eating, and I believe that's the key. So before we get started, who here has never been on a Facebook Live with me before, or a Facebook Live at all? Go ahead and type in there that you're a first timer. Let me know. We're going to do a Facebook Live here titled Keto and MCT Oil, 5 Reasons to Use It for Weight Loss and Health. And I'm really super excited to share the information with you today. In my research on MCT, I thought I knew quite a bit about it, but I have to say in my research and doing, learning more about MCT oil and all the other benefits that are out there, I learned a ton more, and I'm really excited about sharing all that with you in just a few moments. So if you don't mind, go ahead and type in hi or here or me. I love actually to hear more of where people are from, you know, whether, you know, what state or town or what country you hail from. I love to see these Facebook Lives go around the globe, and I love to want to give you a big shout out or a big thank you for being here with me today. So I'll just give you a second, type it in. So today we're going to get into talking about MCT oil and what it is, you know, why I think it's important, and then I'll have some recommendations for you at the end of this. So, you know, as always, I love it when you participate. So when you come in, click in and join this live, feel free to chime in and ask any questions, and I'll do my best to give you a useful answer. If I don't know the answer, I'll definitely point you in the right direction. And with that being said, let's just jump right on in, all right? All right, so what is MCT oil? Now, if you're in other keto Facebook groups like I am, lots of people are talking about it. Some people offering their take on it. Let me give you just a 2-second. Hi, Lorraine, welcome. Glad that you're here. If you don't mind just typing in there where you're hailing from, what state or country you're from. Love to find out, give you a big shout out. So we're just getting started here about MCT oil and really what it's all about. So let me start out by giving you just a 2-second chemistry lesson on MCT oil. So Lorraine, I'm a chiropractor, and I've been in practice for 31 years. I've taken, I don't even remember how many chemistry classes I've taken over the years, probably 8 or so. So I'm going to give you the 2-second bit on MCT oil. So MCT stands for medium chain triglyceride. So there are really three different types for the sake of this conversation. There are long chain, medium chain, and short chain types of fatty acids. So as I just said, MCT stands for medium chain triglyceride. So medium really refers to the length of their chemical structure and their chain-like arrangements. And that's the end of the chemistry lesson. So just so you understand, when you're looking at MCT, that you know that it stands for medium chain triglyceride. So most everybody's heard of triglycerides. If your doctor's ever run like a chemistry or like a cholesterol panel for you, triglycerides will be part of that panel. Now, triglycerides are a type of lipid or fat that's found in your blood. Hi, Lorraine. So you're from Pennsylvania. Oh, you've been on keto for 3 weeks. Well, welcome. This definitely is going to go right up your alley. Everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, a lot of people have questions about MCT oil and how it fits into the whole keto profile. So glad that you're here. Actually, I lived in Pittsburgh for about 11 years. Is that 𝗪𝗲𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁, PA, is on the eastern or western part of, or in the central Pennsylvania. So loved Pittsburgh, by the way. So as we get into talking about triglycerides, they're usually the result of unused converted calories that are stored in your fat cells and are used later in use when you need energy. So it's really important to understand that triglycerides aren't all bad. In fact, they're important to life and in many important body processes that we have. They are in their main form of fat or lipids in the body. And when you think of fat being developed or stored in your body, this is where we store it in our hips, our belly, our butt, our thighs. Those are the triglycerides, and they are the end product of digesting and breaking down fats in food. Some are made in the body and other energy sources, such as carbs. So when you're between meals and need more energy, your body's hormones release them so that you can tap into those unused calories. So it's probably worth noting, if you regularly eat more calories than you burn, particularly from high-carb foods, Northeast. Okay, Lorraine. You might have high triglyceride levels. So the question begs, why would you want to take in MCT, triglycerides, if it's fat? Well, because the calories contained in the MCTs are more efficiently turned into energy and used by the body and less likely to be stored as fat. And I'm going to go into this a lot later on as to why MCTs, because they are medium chain, why they're so beneficial. They are a particular type of triglyceride that are extremely useful and are proven to help reduce cholesterol, as well as other bad stuff that might be swimming around in your blood. Now, while most organic triglycerides are the long-chain fats, MCT, on the other hand, is man-made and generally used as a supplement to help increase food nutrient absorption disorders or to correct or support proper organ functions, and even used as a medical supplement to even treat certain types of diseases. I'm going to go into that in a few minutes. Now, while there are a number of uses and benefits associated with MCT oil, most people love it for its ability to rapidly decrease body fat. And again, I'm going to get into that in just a few minutes. So suffice it to say, there are lots of benefits that are linked to the way our body processes these fats, the MCT oil. Now, while how they work is not entirely understood, yet thankfully, the positive results that people are getting and the benefits received are undeniable and conclusively proven and are backed by science. But, you know, like most things, we need more science to understand how all of these things are used. So let me go into what MCTs are, the medium chain triglycerides. MCT is an oil that's manufactured by processing coconut and palm oils. And it contains 3 types of acids that are important components to make the MCT oil. The first is called caproic acid, or C6. Caprylic acid, called C8, which makes up about 6% of the coconut oil and is the most powerful. And there's capric acid, which is called C10, which is also a rare component, which makes up about 10%. And lastly, lauric acid, which is the most prevalent in coconut oil, and that makes up about 42%. But lauric acid converts into a long chain acid, not a medium chain. So it has to go through the liver to be able to be converted, which is why it's different than the medium chains. So the MCT, what's great about the MCT is it goes straight to your liver. So when you take it into your body, instead of having your gallbladder and your liver having to break down and emulsify the fat, it goes straight to your liver where it can be used as instant energy and turned into ketones. And obviously ketones are produced when the liver breaks down large amounts of fat. So the best MCT oils contain either 100% of the C8, which is the caprylic acid, or 100% of the C10 or capric acid, or a combination of the two. And that's what you really want to look for. So it's often asked, like, what is the difference between MCT oil and coconut oil? And the reason I'm going to go through this short section here is because you're going to see in some advertising of people promoting MCT that is purely coconut oil, and that's not true. Remember, MCT oil has to be extracted out of the coconut oil through a process. And to extract out of the coconut and the palm oil to remove that lauric acid, because the lauric acid is the long chain. We want to only deal with medium chains. And remember that the MCT is extracted through there to isolate it from the coconut and palm kernel oil. And this is, again, where I really want people who want to buy the MCT oil, just buyer beware. Look out for ads that say it's liquid coconut oil. That can be misleading because remember that we want to take out the C8 and the C10 and leave behind the lauric acid because the lauric acid is a long chain. We want just the C8 and the C10. High quality MCT oils are produced through what's called a triple stream or triple steam distillation process. And you need to be aware of cheap fillers. So, just like we have to read labels for keto eating, looking for hidden carbs, hidden sugars, you've got to do the same thing if you're shopping around for MCT oils. Just watch out for fillers and make sure that it doesn't just say coconut oil. And I'm not trashing coconut oil because I cook with it. So coconut oil is really good for you. It contains the lauric acid, which has lots of health benefits. It can help with digestion and immune issues. And then once you digest the coconut oil, the enzymes couple with it to create what's called monolaurin. And in studies that shows that it can kill off certain strains of staph in our gut. And don't forget that coconut oil is still good for you, and it's one of the only natural sources of MCT oil. So let's get right into why I think what are the top 5 reasons that people who are on keto and otherwise should use MCT oil. So reason number 1, it's quick energy. So MCT can give you quick energy because it bypasses the liver. Remember, it's a medium chain, so the liver does not have to break it down, and it can easily cross what's called the blood-brain barrier. Now, if you're following a ketogenic diet, adding MCT oil is an instant source of a ketogenic fuel because the fats are already converted to ketones, which your body does not need to store at all. Like I said, it's instant energy. Now, a lot of people add this as a supplement to smoothies, dressings, and other drinks, and coffee. The bulletproof coffee. I know athletes who add it to a smoothie or a drink right before they go work out, so that your activity runs on ketones. So that's a great reason. Number 1 is that it is instant energy. So reason number 2 that I recommend using MCT oil for weight loss and health is it can help with brain cognition. This is really interesting research that's coming out. It used to be thought that the brain could only run on carbs and sugars, and research now is showing that there are certain parts of the brain, certain glands in the brain that actually can run on ketones. Now, since the body can make instant ready as fuel for energy, MCT oil works equally as well as power surging your brain. So we know that it can help elevate mood, it can help clear out that brain fog that you get. And that's because MCT oil goes straight from the gut to the liver and requires 0 bile to further process to be used as fuel. So if you've had gallbladder surgery, your gallbladder's been removed, MCT oil is no problem because your liver and gallbladder don't have to break it down. And since it's already a source of energy, your entire body can use it. So when your brain needs a boost, instead of your brain trying to figure out how to reallocate fuel from other stored resources, guess what? It can use the MCT oil. It can tap right into it. Now, there are some other ancillary benefits, too, that even though really aren't the focus of this Facebook Live, they're still worth noting. And I encourage any of you who are interested to look into it further, to go ahead and Google it. Some of these other benefits can be to help reduce what's called lactate buildup in athletes, which makes it easier to exercise because you can efficiently raise and effectively raise your keep it going threshold when there is a less lactate buildup. Plus, you're going to use the MCT oil and ketones it produces as an energy source. So here are some interesting things about MCT oil that have been shown to help damaged brains from conditions such as epilepsy, autism, and Alzheimer's. In fact, before the ketogenic diet became popular for weight loss, it was really used first as a treatment protocol to help sufferers mitigate epileptic seizures because it was discovered that somehow ketones can help reduce these episodic occurrences in both frequency and the duration of seizures. Alzheimer's sufferers, on the other hand, have an impairment that limits their brain's ability to use sugar as fuel. So thankfully, with MCT oil and the ketone benefits it can provide with this disease, now those that suffer from Alzheimer's might have an additional source for their brains that they can tap into. It also seems to improve short-term cognition by blocking memory receptors in the brain that cause memory loss. On a final note about autism, while studies show promise, it's important to note that MCT oil can affect each individual in different ways. So for some, the impact could be dramatic, while some maybe not noticeable. So more research needs to be done, but there are looking like there might be some benefits with autism. So the feedback is still promising. However, so I figured I'd at least mention it. So reason number 4 why I think MCT oil is great for weight loss and health is it might help with sleep issues. So if you have trouble sleeping or have sleep apnea, you could try a half a teaspoon of MCT before sleep. Ketones carry more oxygen than glucose or sugar. So you won't use ketones if there aren't enough swimming around in your bloodstream. That's why taking the oil maybe a half hour before bed might be helpful. There are 3 glands in your brain that do run on ketones and not just glucose. That's called those are your pineal gland, your hypothalamus, and your pituitary gland, and those can help regulate sleeping patterns. So give it a whirl. See if MCT oil might help you with some of your sleep. So remember to start out with a small amount of MCT and gradually build up. I'm going to touch on that in just a bit. So reason number 5 why I think MCT oil could be great for weight loss and health is it reduces inflammation. That's all the talk. This is all I talk about in my practice is inflammation. We know that chronic inflammation has been identified as the leading cause of so many diseases. And according to so many studies that are out there right now, the capric acid and the caprylic acid can reduce inflammation by blocking pro-inflammatory compounds. So I don't want to get overly technical with all the chemistry here, but that ketones that are found in the C8 and C10 can be shown to have anti-inflammatory properties and can actually act as an antioxidant. Free radicals, which we've all heard about, people don't really understand what free radicals are, but free radicals that swim around in our system are definitely anti-inflammation or inflammatory in nature. But so what happens when free radicals are swimming around in our body, they really are unstable oxygen molecules that possess, and again, a little bit of chemistry here, an unpaired electron. So what happens is these unstable oxygen molecules, they can damage your DNA, they can damage proteins, carbohydrates, and other important molecules in our body. Now, antioxidants help your body fight these free radicals. And MCTs act as antioxidants, and they can protect against the damage caused by free radicals. So really super important. So now that you know what MCT is, you know, what it's made up of, you know, how it can help, how, you know, you could benefit from it, you're going to probably want to understand like what type is the most, you know, beneficial and what I might recommend. So before I get into all of that, let me just go through what the main differences are between MCT oil and coconut oil. So you know how to use it for healthy weight loss and know how to use it for some great health benefits. I recommend both. So coconut oil. You can use coconut oil to cook with. You can use it later in the day. It helps with staying in ketosis because it's stable. And as I said, you can cook with it, and it's a key ingredient in making fat bombs. I've got about at least 10 fat bomb recipes in the Keto Family Meal Plan. Just type in the word fat bombs in the search, and you'll get 10 instant recipes. Coconut oil might also help with your cholesterol profiles. It's also good for your skin and your hair. Now, MCT, on the other hand, is great for fat burning in the morning, and you can use it as a source for fuel, like we just talked about maybe at night for brain power. For example, you can add it to coffee. You could add it to a breakfast meal. You could add it to a smoothie. It works great with intermittent fasting because it keeps you fuller longer. Now, just remember that you can't cook with MCT oil, as it will denature and will become unstable. Just add it to things that you've already made. Like I said, already add it to your coffee that you've made, add it to a smoothie, but just don't cook with it. Now, I'll give a small warning on MCT oil. Typically, MCT oil has very minimal side effects, and it's usually you can use it as a supplement. When you're first starting to use MCT oil, you could experience some side effects. But the side effects will gradually diminish as you continue to acclimate to the oil. So I usually just tell people, if you're going to add it to coffee or a smoothie or take it before bed, really start with like a half of a teaspoon. Do that for a couple of days and then just gradually build it up to a teaspoon, and then gradually get it up to maybe where you can take it 1 or 2 tablespoons without any GI distress. So some people have reported some GI distress. It can be, you know, people have reported that it can be almost like a laxative or tummy discomfort. For most people, it's mild. But like I said, I always recommend start with it slowly, like with a half a teaspoon, and add it to something and see how you do. I also recommend that you only take it from reputable sources. You know, reading the back of the label to see what the source is, what blend that they're using. Is it a blend of mostly C8 and C8 and C10? Because it can be kind of expensive. You can spend anywhere between $15 to $80, depending upon where you get it from. And don't forget to read the label. That you want to make sure that there are no fillers added in there as well. So now that you understand what MCT oil is and how it can help you lose weight more quickly by adding it the right kind, that your body can just use this right away as energy. It can be added for bonuses for your brain. It's a mood leveler, and perhaps with some, it can help with some sleep issues. It can help keep your blood sugars more level, and it can be really heart healthy and immune system healthy too. Now, recent research is showing that MCTs can have powerful antimicrobial and antifungal effects. They can help the growth of microbes and bacteria in our gut and help the microbiome defend itself against harmful diseases and infections that can aid people who suffer with IBS. So I've gone through a ton of information here. I'm going to just pause for a minute, just see if anybody has any questions specifically about MCT oil or about coconut oil, or what's the difference, and some of the health benefits and some of the weight loss benefits that people can get using it. So I'm just going to sit tight here just for a second or two before I finish up here. Type in your question. All right. If you have any questions or think of something later on, don't be afraid to type it in here. I go back every now and again and post questions in here or answer questions that people have posted. So let me finish up here by glad that you're here with us, glad that you're sticking with us at Keto Family Meal Plan. Please visit our YouTube channel. We'll also be posting some short, great keto tips. I really believe that our group has a lot to offer, and it really, truly is my honor to serve all of you. And just so you know, we, as I said before, we've got over 300 recipes, lots of tips. We'll be doing at least 1 to 2 Facebook Lives every week so that we can cut out, you know, and cut through all that keto noise out there and cut out all of that keto confusion. Now, each week I'll be discussing a different keto tip or shortcut, talking about some different keto topics that I can see that there are a lot of questions about. I really believe that people can get healthy by eating a balanced keto diet that are rich in healthy fats, lean proteins, low carbs, and that weight loss can be extremely healthy, fast, and fun. And I'm all about enjoying things. Now, speaking of fun in these trying times, it's been a stressful couple of weeks for all of us around the world. Don't forget that in my keto group, we started to run a fun contest. I'm going to do a contest every week or every other week. The one that I have going this week is a picture of something keto that you made, a recipe that you made, and just posting a picture of that. The prize is going to be 6 Lily chocolate bars. Lily's chocolates, if you don't know what they are, they're all keto. So get eating keto and post your pictures along the way. So as I wrap this up, I just want to say that as our group grows every day, and as we add more recipes and tips that support ketogenic lifestyle, I also want to acknowledge that this group is not only helping people in almost all 50 states, but we're also serving many countries like England and Palestine and Thailand and Mexico and Central American countries and Botswana, Puerto Rico, Australia, Egypt, the Philippines, and more. So I'm looking forward to our next Facebook Live together. So until we meet again, au revoir, adios, arrivederci, sayonara, and goodbye.